The Talihina Golden Tigers are back in the state championship game for the second consecutive year. They walked off the field at UCO last season with the silver ball. This year, they're looking for the gold ball. They'll take on the Hominy Bucks on Thursday afternoon at noon, and their head coach, Kelly Gravitt, joins us. And, Coach, I want to first, before we talk about the program, the players, this year's game, let's go back to last week, the semifinals, because you guys had an absolute instant classic just to make it to the championship game.
Yeah, it's pretty special. It's a real moment. We've been talking about all weekend, and people across the state saying it's one of the best high school football games they've ever been a part of and got to watch. And I'm not a big stat guy, right? But stats show that we're a way better ball club than we were last year, and we had to have some divine intervention to even make it back to the game. So it's something certainly we don't take for granted. We left UCO Field last year thinking, okay, what do we got to do to try to get back to this game? And when we do have a different result, and we did that, we put all the time in, and the offense evolved, and we got better on defense. And 3 days ago we had to have help to even get back. So it was a special night for sure. That you had to be good, and you had to have a lot of luck. And so just for sure, it was special, and here we are.
Let's talk about this program because the story was told, it was beaten to death at the end of it. How Talihina, just a couple of years removed from not being able to play football, they're playing for a state championship. And, look, I think everybody agreed when they saw you guys in the state title game last season, and more importantly, they saw your roster, which was, a lot of the best players on this team, sophomores, freshmen. It's like, well, Talihina is going to be, as long as they take care of business, they're going to be back here. And they might be back for a couple of years as well, considering, some of the young, talented players you have. Just talk about the growth of this program over the last, 24 months. What's been such a special return for Talihina football.
Yeah, and again, it's been really special. Like this program has been to this game 4 times in program history, and now this group is able to do it back to back, and so they share half of those memories. Just the mentality and the preparation, the attitude this group has shown since getting beat last December. Of course, everybody can say, well, you're older and you're stronger and you're faster. But the way they do things, they don't cheat the process. They train their body right. They get rest like athletes supposed to get rest. They feed their body right. But more importantly, man, they love to practice football. And they love each other too. But man, when the cleats are in the grass and it's time to lock in, these guys are locked in. And so, we do all, I know everybody works hard, but I'm telling you, I put them through the ringer. And everybody has 6 a.m. workouts. We get it. Everybody practices 2 hours and 20 minutes. I get it. But we do extra stuff that people don't know about. They just, you can't do too much. And so they want their toolbox. They want tools added to their toolbox. And so I had to do my part, had to get better. And, like I said, every day the game changes. And I believe if you don't change, you die. And so, man, the offense is evolved, and defense, again, bigger, faster, stronger, and a year older, and scheme's a little bit different. So there's all kinds of variables that makes this really, really, really special. And again, last year the roster was underclassmen, and I have 5 seniors this year. And of course, a couple of them hurt, but we'll return 10 next year. And so, and again, that means nothing other than you got a lot of experience, because when that time comes, you got to be able to go out and take care of business each and every night. But it's special for sure, and I don't even know another word for it. But man, just the way the grit with these guys, Coach Venables, I love what he says. He's either grimy, whatever that is. But man, the grit with these guys is they love practice and they love each other. When you can do that, and as much as I stress them, I think stress is important, and I stress them a lot. I mean, mentally, physically, emotionally, and I think too much can hurt you. But the way we stress them, the way they bond, and that connection that they have, it's made it a special year.
You mentioned that you're not a stat guy earlier, but I am, and your quarterback has some of the best stats that I've seen over the last 2 years. Landon Griffith, coming into the championship game, he's just under 4,000 passing yards, 51 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions, over 1,200 rushing yards, and 20 rushing touchdowns this season. He's accounted for, just passing and running 71 touchdowns this season. He had a great year last year as well. He's one of the most dynamic football players in the state of Oklahoma. He's back in the state championship game. Just talk about what he brings to this team, other than the production, because that's very clear. What else does he bring to the football field?
Well, I talk about the stat at the end of the night that I care about is the wins or the losses, and without this cat, I'm telling you, none of this is possible. I mean, he's the captain of the ship for sure, and what we do when we're an RPO team, and we want to. If you can RPO it, you can screen it, you can throw it, you can run it, then you got a chance to be pretty good. And of course, if you can play defense, and so he's just the leader of this group, and what he does is really, really hard to do. I know he makes it look easy, but again, it goes back to I've had him for 6 years, and 3 or 4 years ago in the program, we didn't have enough to play. Then those guys came out after school and as eighth graders, and it really started when he was 12-year-old in the youth program when I took over there and started with them there. But that's just the basic. But really, it really took off when he was in eighth grade. And I said, I had a vision. Said, this is what we're going to try to do to get better. And so, I mean, I try to say we got to get to that 10,000 rep, that magic rep. But he's at 1,000,000, and so he just carries himself. He's first class. I mean, the moment. And like you said, the wins and losses important to me, but without whatever you said, 5,000 yards and nearly 9 or 10,000 2 years is just unheard of. And doing it at a small school here at Talihina is really special. But he's just special. He has something different running through his blood, and he gets that from his mama. His dad's my best friend, there's a super family. But he just has that it. He has something different in him, and the moment's not too big. And I'm telling you, nobody has got his butt chewed. Nobody's got their butt chewed more than he has, but at an early age, and I don't have to do it very much anymore. In our offense, when we come to, I call a formation and a play, and off of that, he has options. He has a full field pre-snap read, and if he doesn't like that, he has a post. And people knows football know what I'm talking about. And then he has a post snap read, and so he just really executes his offense at a very high level, and of course his numbers show. And so uh, he's special to this program. He's special to his teammates, and like I said, we've had good ones, pretty good ones come through here before. Eagle Road and the Lockhart kid, and the Austin in the box. We've had good quarterbacks, but I mean, for him to do what he's doing is unprecedented, and the numbers speak for himself.
Now, football's the ultimate team sport, but when you're talking about the smaller classes, if you have that superstar, and I think that Landon Griffith is a superstar, when you look at the impact that he's had in the last 2 seasons, the production that he's had in the last 2 seasons, when you have that one guy in a class like Class A2 or even Class A1, they can carry you and they can get you win after win and go on a journey to contend for a state title. But it's still football, and it's still it's the ultimate team sport. You need all 11 guys on both sides of the ball doing their jobs. Talk about some of the other guys that have been critical to this season and making it back to the state championship game for the second straight year.
Yeah, and I'd say it every week to these guys, Mike, winning is hard to do. And to win every game up to this point is extremely hard to do. And I alluded earlier, this team's Talihina has only been to the state championship 4 times. And so that's extremely, extremely hard to do. And under the dang leadership and quarterback play of Landon Griffith, now we're there back to back. But it is the ultimate team game. And, without 11 guys on offense and 11 guys on defense and 11 guys on special teams. Without those guys, if we can't get the ball to him, he can't run that RPO offense. He can't run the quarterback read offense. Without the guys blocking for him, we can't establish line of scrimmage. So it is the ultimate team game, and that's why it's the greatest game, was played and it takes guys around him when you're having a special season like we are at 13-0. You got to have other guys step up, and that's exactly what has happened to finish last year and really throughout this season. Number one, Cy Emmons, and number 9, Noah Lloyd at receivers. And you have the stats there, I guess, though, and you can see what kind of numbers they have. Man, they're just two big time playmakers on the offensive side of the ball, and and they have big time numbers because of the offense that we're running. And anytime Landon can and the tailback at Gavin Brown can, both of them are over 1,000-yard rushers, I believe. And so when you can run it and you can throw it, you can screen it, you can RPO it, then you got a chance to have guys putting up some good numbers. And so those two guys are for Class A football. Man, they're electric on offense. Again, and none of that's possible too if that O line doesn't give them time to protect it. And so Sam Bryant, the left tackle, a freshman Jack Worley at the left guard. I'm playing Rayson Hilton at center, and this kid weighs 160 pounds and was an H-back last year, and so I had to move him because of an injury on the first week of practice. And so, it takes everybody. You can name everybody on the roster, and I give credit where credit's due. The scout team. If it wasn't for the scout team every week getting the dang crap beat out of them and giving us looks that the opposing team does, it just takes everybody. And so, but that's on offense. That's kind of the dudes. Jake Shear, our Z, he caught the touchdown pass to put us up, there last week. And it just takes everybody, and they're all good route runners. And just the offense is pretty fun to watch on defensive side of the ball. Talon Griffith, he leads the team in tackles and anchors down the defense. And then the other inside backer, Jathan Walls, he's second leading tackler on the team. And, Sam Bryant, he missed 5 or 6 weeks, I believe, due to injury. And he was super important to get back the first week of the playoffs. But it's just overall, it takes everybody that's out there on that field. When they get out there, it takes everybody to do what we've done and to get to where we're at right now.
Thursday at noon, you get the Hominy Bucks, a program that is it's one of those, prototypical small towns in Oklahoma that it feels like it's centered around the football program. This is a team in a program that's used to contending for state championships, and coincidentally, they're in that district with Woodland, and you're very familiar with them after last season, and they were able to get the best of that district this year. When you look at Hominy and the players that they bring to the table, they're led by a very dynamic quarterback as well. When you break down the Hominy Bucks on film, what stands out to you?
Well, first of all, what a district. Fairland and Woodland and Hominy and those other guys. It's just a really tough district. Forever I thought that was the toughest district in the class, and for a long time, and I guess it still may be. I don't know, but it's a really tough district. So every week those guys got to play football, and that's why last week's game was such a dang dogfight. Because those guys have been in the fight every game, and so congratulations to Coach Christian and the Hominy Bucks. A very rich tradition. They have a great tradition. On film, it's no surprise they're just really big and really physical. And he and I was talking last night, and a good buddy of mine, and there's a lot of similarities. We think, his defense coordinator was texting me. We have a lot of similarities, and he said, "Man, we just have a lot of similarities, and so it's going to be a great football game. They love to run the football, and he knows, and everybody in this game understands. If you want to win, if you want to lift that goal ball up, you got to be able to control that line of scrimmage, and they're going to try to do that and control the clock. And of course, we got to stop them. We got to make 3 plays in a row on defense and get off the field and see if we can put something together like we have all year on offense. And but they're very good. And like always, and they're fortunate enough this year to be district champs and make it. And he thought last year or he was hoping. He said, "Coach, I hope it's you and I in the finals." And here we are. It's going to be fruition. So it's going to be a great football game. I hope. He's going to have his guys ready. I'm going to have my guys ready. But to answer your question, they're very physical. They're very big, and they're going to try to control the line of scrimmage and have time of possession, and we got to match their physicality. We're a little undersized in those guys, but we gotta find a way to match their physicality. And again, in the end, play our best football on Thursday and see what happens.
We're ending all these one-on-one conversations with a simple question, but whether the answer is a cliche or coach speak or whatever it may be, maybe it's not a simple answer, but when you look at this matchup and how you guys match up with Hominy, what are some of the biggest keys to getting a state championship victory on Thursday afternoon?
Well, I like I said, controlling line of scrimmage, but it's championship football, and they've been there before, and Coach Christian has lifted that gold ball. We have not done that yet, and hoping to do so in a couple of days. But you just got to play your best football. You got to play clean football. The ball can't be on the grass on the turf. You got to tackle, and those guys are hard to tackle. So we got to make sure we gang tackle. We have to get them. We have to get them off the field, like on when they're on offense. We got to make them punt, and whether it be a turnover or change the possession, we got to limit those possessions. And I think we can score, and we have so far this year. Fairland's really good, and then so end up scoring 47 points on them. But I think we can score, and our offense is good enough to score points. I'm not going to say we're going to score 50 points, but if we can three and out them or take the ball away from them and limit their possessions, the Talihina Golden Tigers has a chance to win this football thing.
I'm looking forward to this one. It's the first of 6 games in Edmond for state championships, and it's a great quarterback matchup. We talked about Landon for Talihina, Homony's Blaine Hip, a fantastic dual threat quarterback himself. So it's a great quarterback matchup. 2 great programs, 2 great communities coming to Edmond to play for a state title. I'm looking forward to kickoff at noon. Coach, congrats on making it back to the state championship game, and we'll catch up on the field in Edmond before kickoff. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
That's Talihina head coach Kelly Gravitt for our conversation with Caleb Christian, Homony's head coach, for a look at the Bucks. You can check that out now on our YouTube channel, as well as all of our preview content on prepredzone.com/Oklahoma. One final time for Coach Gravitt, I'm Michael Knight, and this has been our championship look at the Talihina Golden Tigers.